As a child with ocean eyes, I smiled at a world existing just for me. Without boxes, borders, or boundaries, I built dreams. Those are the opening lyrics of a song called Boxes by Charlie Winston. The lyrics of this song I found to be quite powerful. They meant something to me a few years ago when I needed them. Maybe look it up on Spotify. Why am I talking about this now? Well, as you will hopefully know by now, if you've seen other episodes, this segment of the podcast is all about wisdom worth sharing. At the end of every show, I review the videos and look back as part of the editing process and discover some of the gems that came out during the conversations. And I summarize them here. And as I've reviewed Tony Christiansen's Life's Work interview, I was reminded of this song. Clearly, Tony is a man who has not allowed himself to be boxed by anyone. He didn't even want artificial legs to look normal. What's normal, he said. He showed us that nothing can hold us down, keep us back, or box us if we don't let it. It's all about attitude. And he certainly taught us that with the right attitude, we can choose to live an extraordinary life, just as he's done. Tony said that being so young when his accident happened, he hadn't had a life full of experiences and memories that had suddenly been taken away from him. It was almost like he didn't know any different. He was too young and inexperienced to box himself, which could have resulted in a far different life to the one he's had. Instead of focusing on his ability to do any of 10,000 things before the accident, he realized that he could still do 8,000. And then he chose to focus on the 500 that would create an amazing life. When the 9-year-old Tony arrived at the hospital, having been run over by a train, he apologized to his mum, who was obviously and understandably distraught. He said, "Sorry, Mum, but I'll be okay." And he was. He didn't take his own life in his teen years, as some in the medical field had suspected he would. Far from it. In fact, Tony said those were the cards he'd been dealt, and that he was very fortunate from that day forward. Wow, how many of us would see things that way? Tony did, and consequently, he has and continues to live a life so full of adventure, fun, and achievement that most of us would be amazed no matter who had achieved them. Never mind an ordinary guy with no legs. Throughout the interview, Tony provided several insights and reminders to us all that we should not allow ourselves to be boxed, labelled, or judged by others. Their opinions are just that, theirs, not ours. Whatever or whoever we are, we choose who we should be, and we shouldn't let those opinions of our idiosyncrasies and quirks, the things that make us real and individual, shape what we think and feel and believe about ourselves. Importantly, Tony hasn't just done the things that would prove to others that he can, although he admitted there was some element of that on occasion, as there is for all of us. But he chooses to do the things that he loves, that he's passionate about. To quote Tony, if you don't enjoy it, don't do it. There's much to be said for that in all aspects of life, and in particular, because it's such a big component of our lives, we should think about that relative to our work. What we choose to do in life should be enjoyable for us. It doesn't always seem possible to do, but that's maybe because, as Tony said, we're too scared to actually close a door for ourselves, even though several doors may then open for us. As he said, adversity or challenging in our life makes us dig deep and brings out the best of us. But his question was, why do we wait? I think it's a comfort zone thing. And maybe we should all look for opportunities, actively seek them out to stretch ourselves beyond our current limiting beliefs. Because that's what we're put here to do. Stretch, grow, develop, and enhance our own life and those around us. The title of this episode is another quote from Tony. If it's to be, it's up to me. Tony is an ordinary guy living an extraordinary life. What will you take away from his story that may help you create or enhance your own extraordinary life, work, and legacy. I hope there are many things that you've found valuable in this interview. I know I have. Use them, share them with others. As I always say, sharing is like teaching, and teaching helps us retain what we've learned and commit to change. I hope you are happy, safe, and successful in all that you do. And please remember, live a life that's a story worth retelling. I'm Steve Worsley, and I look forward to seeing you again next time on Life's Work, the podcast all about wisdom worth sharing.